According to the latest round of way too early 2024 polling, Donald Trump has the Republican nomination on lockdown. And what's more remarkable in these new polls is that Ron DeSantis, Florida governor, is slipping a bit. Here's what the numbers tell us. 57% support Donald Trump being the Republicans' 2024 nominee. So he has more than half of Republicans saying, we want him. Ron DeSantis and former Vice President Mike Pence are nearly deadlocked at 12 and 11%. 12 and 11%. Not long ago, DeSantis had a double-digit lead over everybody else, even when Trump was included in the polls. Now, he didn't have a lead over Trump, obviously, but everybody underneath him. There was no neck and neck with Mike Pence. So that has changed, and DeSantis has fallen. Of course, nobody else even garners double-digit support at that point. But the poll also shows us that when you remove Donald Trump's name, Ron DeSantis has 30%, Mike Pence 24%, and then Ted Cruz pulls into third place at 14%. But having a 6-point advantage over Mike Pence right now, that's a hell of a lot less than what Ron DeSantis had just 2 months ago. 2 months ago, in polls that did not have Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis was up by almost 20 points. Now he's only down to 6. You know, I've said for a long time, even though Ron DeSantis is still popular here in Florida, and I know he's popular out there as kind of the heir to the Trump empire, he's not good on stage. So I think that even if Ron DeSantis does throw his hat into the ring, if we have a full-blown Republican primary like we did in 2015, 2016, when it's time to get on that debate stage, I think Ron DeSantis is going to faceplant so hard that he's basically going to end up pulling a Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio was polling pretty dang well before the debate started and Chris Christie effectively ended any dreams of presidential winning that Rubio had. And I think DeSantis is the same way. He can't handle himself. He gets flustered. He gets confused. He's the kind of guy that you can easily throw off track if you have somebody, in the style of Chris Christie attacking him. So I do fret about Ron DeSantis running for president, but if there's a decent Republican who's good at debating next to him on that stage, he's going to end Ron DeSantis' career. But all of that may be a moot point, right? Trump's at 57%. That nomination is his for the taking if he wants it. And I think right now all signs point to him wanting it. Now, here's the bad news from the poll. While Biden has indicated that he plans to run for a second term in the White House in 2024, he doesn't have the kind of broad support among Democrats that Trump carries among Republicans. In a hypothetical Democratic primary, Biden scores 32%. Kamala Harris wins 14%. Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton, meanwhile, are tied 11%. In the event that Biden decides to step down after his current term in the Oval Office, Harris would be the narrow favorite to win the Democratic presidential nod with 23% of the Democrat support. Clinton trails in second with 17%, while Sanders takes 12%. Those are very bleak prospects for the Democrats. Even Democrats aren't happy with Joe Biden right now. Other polls out this week show that Biden has positive likability. They think he's a good person, but they think he's a bad leader. And those are general public polls. They like him. Most people like him. Okay, he's a good guy. Is he a good leader? Oh, God, no, they say. So that's very bad. So if he doesn't run, what do we get? We get Kamala Harris. We get Hillary Clinton. We get Bernie Sanders. And don't get me wrong, I love Bernie Sanders, but your time has passed. Fair or not, your time has passed. You're going to be at an age older than Biden, and they're going to use that against you, and it's not going to work. And I don't even know if Bernie wants to even go through all that again. Hillary Clinton, on the other hand, She's been more vocal recently, and I think she would run, which would be an absolute disaster. Kamala Harris has some of the worst advisors out there. She couldn't even win her own state in the Democratic primary. These are all very bleak prospects, folks. Somebody new, somebody that has not run for president before, needs to step up and do this. But right now, that person isn't emerging. And with Republicans energized, Democrats not, and even though we got, 2 years before it even happens, things are already looking pretty bad for 2024. Thanks for watching, and if you like what you saw, don't forget to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to our Ring of Fire channel here.